So, individual members of the Arathlands invited you to stay with them in their homes for the night of the 29th instead of sleeping in your quarters on the Adelith or finding other housing. So if you take them up on that offer, which I strongly recommend, it's Ferio who invites Bryn to crash with him.
Sure.
And it's Ash that invites Sylvia and Lyra to crash with her.
Sick.
And
Sure.
Spend the night with me.
don't get.
I'm rethinking it already.
You fool!
We can stay up all night doing the monster math.
You don't trust Mario.
Joanne and S invite Quinn to stay with them, and Quinn takes them up on that offer. Hyrule says, "Hey, Isidore, you should stay with me," and that's fine. It's completely okay. Nothing bad happens about that. So yeah, but the brief summary of what goes on when you crash is Ferio brings out some really good rum. He talks to you, Bryn, about his history in Deliverance's military, and how people like you, Bryn, who didn't ask questions, were actually some of his most steadfast allies. Because people not asking questions of the people who are up to no good also means that you don't ask questions of the people who are up to a lot of good. And
That's true.
And it allows people like him to get a lot more done than they normally would, because you'll just sign the papers, right, and stamp them and move on and not question anything, right?
That's bureaucracy, baby.
Yep. He remarks that you've also changed as a person, though, because you're starting to question and evaluate now. He suspects that it's largely the product of the kind of person you are and the bonds of camaraderie, of Kovanen, you forged with the Hex Scrolls. He says he thinks he's figured out what Kovanen means, by the way, based on the context and the wording. Having had his fair share of airbutting with rules lawyers, right, in his line of work.
Yes.
He points out that the way things are said and spoken and how, like mean things, the way people will, people don't like lying, so they'll say things very selectively to be technically true, like being honest. So he noted how his Ishai comrades always say with Kovanen and along Kovanen, but never for Kovanen or against. So he thinks Kovanen is something cooperative and not selfless. Someone on your side is doing it alongside you, not someone doing it for you or acting against you. And so you, Bryn, have, in his opinion, always been that, even when you weren't asking questions.
Well, it's a try best.
Yeah. So he lets you have the whole bottle of rum, and lets you crash in his bed, and he sleeps on the couch. He's not going to do any weird gay stuff with you.
That being said, would you like to join my sewing, sir?
I made the most marvelous quilt. Yeah.
Ash
The
invites.
one that's on that bed right now.
Yep, Ash invites Lyra and Sylvia to stay with her. She really wants to learn more about Sylvia and Lyra, especially about Lyra's Reavers, as she thinks they're this Arath thing her shy friends keep talking about.
Lyra would tell her that no one really knows what the Reavers exactly are. They're kind of almost a force of nature more than they are a group. No one has been able to capture one alive because their ships are actually set to self-destruct as soon as they aren't operating as they're supposed to.
Ash says that sounds a lot like Deliverance's Martyrs. And she tells you what you already know about Deliverance's Martyrs, which is that they sabotage their ejection seats and they fight to the death. Yours or theirs. And they ignore civil duel culture and just do maximum war crimes, and it's the worst, and she hates them.
Lyra actually shared that the first time she encountered that that kind of concept, she did think of the Reavers, and it was kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Because at first she thought, oh god, they're here too, but she was almost kind of relieved to find out they weren't for a little bit, but feels kind of foolish about it now.
Yeah.
That was a naive relief.
Yeah, and she tells Sylvia that she felt the impact that what Sylvia said had on the Ashai, that she was able to just stop doing that thing that Lyra's terrified of, and that she is terrified of, and that seemed to be very impactful to the Ashai.
Sylvia is going to actually give a minor correction to that, which is what she's doing and what the Arath are doing might be similar, but what she's doing and what the Reavers are doing don't seem to be. She did it the first time because she needed to survive, and the second time because the only way she could feel free from the people who had wronged her was to take back something of her autonomy, and that led to her killing. But she says like, the Reavers just, as far as she understands from Lyra, they hunt because they want things from other people.
Mostly resources. They harvest
Mostly
plants.
resources. Yeah, and there's a big difference between wanting to take back your own autonomy and wanting to remove everyone else's and take everything that belongs to them.
Yeah. She says that sounds like a very important distinction, and she thinks the Ashai are aware of it too, right? She says that from what she's seen from you two and from the Ashai, she's started to think, and from Belius, she started to think just from that Elia that maybe humans don't just have this uniquely human capacity for extreme cruelty that they get a thrill out of, but they might also have a uniquely capacity for extreme kindness and love that they get fulfillment out of, because that's what Belius showed her. It's what the Ashai have shown her. It's what you two are showing her too.
Oh, love.
Yeah.
Sylvia takes that gratefully as well. Also,
she says she owes you all so much for showing her this thing, and that she wants it for herself one day. And she wonders aloud if the Ashai have a term for this thing that she's identified, this unique capacity for extreme love. And then she's just like, take my bed. If you want to have sex, just let me know. I'll leave. Put a stock on the door. Text me when you're done. I'll go stand outside and smoke.
When you're done.
So we just like turns to Lyra and goes like, so I didn't really cheat on you, but I did get into like a weirdly homoerotic fight with someone tonight, and then we just cut to black.
Sexy fighting. Quinn does say...
Lyra's all about fighting.
Yeah.
So that sounds cool.
I mean, has Lyra even told Sylvia about her one night stand with Cinder? I'd be like, girl, you don't even know? Kind of fucked up shit.
I don't think she has, because I don't think, culturally speaking, it's not really something that she considers like all that big of a deal.
She doesn't even gloat. I love it. Well, Sylvia will never know about the wild, fucked up bondage, kinky shit she got down to with Cinder, I'm sure. Anyway, let's not be too horny here. Joanne and S invite Quinn to stay with them, and Quinn agrees. And Joanne just basically gets Quinn's help, getting him to get S to actually fucking sleep. He thinks that 2 of us versus 1 will maybe give them better odds. They do ultimately succeed, and they high-five. Joanne tells her all about how he and S hooked up, and he glosses over the fact that they just started banging, like, immediately, just so he would go away, because he's pretty sure the Hex Girls don't want their 16-year-old gremlin girl going through puberty knowing what sex is. But... but he does say he thinks that he and S... yeah. He and S rushed a little, and he explains the Ashai concept of rushing or being hurried to Quinn, much like Hyrule did to Isadora during that race. He remarks that he fought alongside the capital K Kovanen, and that she was rushed too. And that Joanne's trying to repair from that rushed pace he took with S on accident and get back to a comfortable pace with her, and that he believes Kovanen, was rushed differently, and that Quinn should be cautious about that, mindful of that. And don't rush her. And to just also not rush herself. Because it can be repaired from, it can be recovered from, can be recalibrated, but it really does set you back. Quinn asks him if he loves S, and he admits that he does with everything he is. He says that you should just do whatever it takes then, and Joanne laughs and agrees, but says that you gotta do whatever it takes at the pace and comfort your beloved needs. And that you need as well. You need to find a common ground. And Quinn takes that to heart and goes to sleep. Hyrule and Isadora stay together, and they spend all night just heterosexually co-sleeping. Just gals being pals. We're moving on.
No, they fucking.
Thank you.
In the,
Lights are sharp.
in the morning, the members of the Arathlands that you stayed with cook you breakfast, and they spend more time with you, and y'all probably have to jet off pretty late in the day, around 6 p.m. to get to the Chemwell in time for the Halloween party on the 31st. But you'll have until then to hang out with your new friends, and I'm just going to give you all perks, and we can just fluff over what you do. Joan prints you out a flamethrower for your mech, Bryn. It looks ungodly. He grins and he tells you that this is a special flamethrower. Jeff, every other combat round, Bryn may add an additional 2 burn damage that just ignores resistance to any attack he does, because this thing is obscene.
So even if they have burn resistance,
Yep, even if they have burn resistance, you can always do 2 burn. This is Isadora, you know, this is Issa's flamethrower that Joanne just printed out for Bryn.
Man, we're gonna have burn armor to prevent that.
Yeah, it's 2 burn damage, fuck you. Ash,
Set you on fire no matter what you're made of.
Lyra, if you want, Alex, talk to me OC about something that might be better suited to Lyra, but what I decided currently, we'll talk about this OC if you want better, and we can retcon this, is that Ash helps you calibrate your ejection seat, and now it's just right. You won't eject unless it's absolutely necessary to save your life. And you get a +1 to hull saves when you fail structure rolls, to make sure that you can stay fighting for as long as possible.
That was me. I like that. That's really in character. I think that's really good.
Yeah. Ferio helps you with your mech, Sylvia, because he's a spy. He's got good eyesight. He helps you adjust your optical settings on your mech. Once around, for one attack around Sylvia, you can ignore disadvantage and smoke and other obstructions like that.
Wait, but I'm a melee build.
Yeah, you can ignore disadvantage and smoke in melee. Like if Bryn drops another smoke grenade, like he did with the drill tank, you can still hit with complete accuracy as if you were not impeded by that.
But doesn't soft cover only work for ranged?
No, it works for melee too.
Yeah, it works for melee too.
So once per round, just ignore disadvantage on soft cover. No, I hit you. S helps you with your mech, Isadora. This one I'm kind of confused about. I hope I do better. Talk with me after this, Fafnir. We'll try and get it something you actually want. She's gruff, but she's not unfriendly. But I looked at your talents, and you have the talent that lets you fly. But when you do fly, you generate heat. Once per encounter, you can just do that without generating heat, no matter what. You can just go fast without the heat penalty.
I do love ignoring rules. It's the best.
She slaps and gives you a wink and says, "Go fast, you know, go hot." Hyrule will help Quinn, but that's a scene. But so instead, Hyrule will look over Coriander with you, Isadora, because you told her she could. And she'll remark in appreciation at the brilliance of his engineering. Coriander now gets a +1 advantage to hit or hack enemies who are hit by whoever is commanding him.
Nice.
She helps you upgrade Coriander's coding.
It's like a free lock-on on that.
Yep, he gets a free lock-on on them, basically, yep. And again, you spend the rest of the day however you want. Feel free to fluff it. I don't want to take too much time because we have a lot of Halloween. So, like, just a quick, brief whatever, what you doing.
We are going to party.
I mean, beyond that, like, do you just fuck around the town? Do you chase chickens? Do you like, I don't know, steal pumpkin? It is Halloween.
I think Lyra doesn't really... They don't really have a harvest festival for a culture that doesn't really do harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what she does is kind of ends up kind of exploring the area around here, around the village, and just sort of like... It's been a while since she was able to just be on a planet without having business there, and kind of just like exploring what this place is like. It's very different from home.
Yeah. What does Sylvia do?
So Sylvia probably, I think, this is the first time she's had to relax in a while where she doesn't feel moderately vulnerable. Isn't out in space. And so she takes the time to kind of, she strips down her hard suit a little bit, and actually just goes around using conventional mobility aid. She doesn't really rely on her braces as much, and just takes some time to like sit in, the corners of like places where people are gathering, sample some of the local food, and generally just have a day where she's not worrying about someone coming after her to kill her.
Yeah, it's completely chill. Like, S will hang out with you and just chill comradely with you, right?
Yeah, they probably like split dinner or something.
Yeah.
Sylvia like goes over her top 10. Like they start like debating the ups and downs of various like styles of close quarters combat.
Yeah, she wants to learn like
giving her
she hopes.
jujitsu tips.
Yeah, she hopes one day she can learn close quarters combat from you, because like they fight with like these spears, and they have their own different spear fighting style that they use, and like she'll show you some of that, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, Sylvia's like completely down to learn some of that as well. And she's like, yeah, if you ever want to like learn how to throat chop someone, sure, I'll teach you.
This is very, very, very Zulu-esque, the way they fight with spears. It is utterly brutal. They don't fuck around.
Oh, the little short stabbing spears.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right, Bryn, what do you do all day?
I think he just relax because there's no paper to do on this planet, so he just kind of like chills.
Yeah. Fario makes up paperwork for you just for fun.
Well, no thanks.
Don't give me paperwork. I'm off to Margaritaville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What does Issa Dura do? And you can say Hyrule, but God.
I mean, it's the middle of the day, so no. But that being said, if Hyrule's available, they can date, I guess.
Yeah, they'll hang out. She's very friendly. She does tell you that she looked up coffee in the matchmaker, and she learned that goats are responsible for coffee. Goats not unlike the ones that she squealed and delight at. Apparently, they ate some plants on Old Earth and got super, super hyper and jittery. And the shepherd who was watching them, like, harvested those plants, and that's why we have coffee now, and she thinks it's cute. It's goat's fault. And then she says, I gotta actually go talk to Quinn really quick. So she has to leave, but she's like, I'll check in with you, maybe, later. So Quinn is just kind of keeping to herself. She's got a lot on her mind, and Hyrule walks over to her and, like, invites her back to her place to talk really quick. And Quinn agrees to go with her back to her place, and Hyrule opens her door and multi-passes back in her fucking house. She's like, whatever. She just goes over to her bed. She's given up on trying to keep this cat out of her house. But Quinn rushes over to multi-pass because that's a cat. She loves cats, and she'll pet the cat. Hyrule fishes out something from a chest under her bed, a collapsible spear. And she strides up to Quinn with the spear collapsed, and she clears her throat. Quinn Riesling. And Quinn looks up and says, yes, Hyrule. And she says, Issa, please. The girl you know as Kovanen, what is she to you? I told you at the Alia I'm in love with her, Issa. Kovanen is the woman I'm in love with. And Issa's lip twitches, because that's really beautiful wording if you know anything about what Quinn's actually saying. Because if Quinn is really this term with Kovanen, that is saying a whole lot. So Issa wrestles over how to respond to this, because she doesn't want to mess this up for Quinn. So she taps at her chin and she says, okay, if you are the term with her, and I yearn for that to be true, then I know I'm making the right choice here. And Issa snaps out the spear and holds it towards Quinn in a very non-threatening way. I'm not going to kill you. This does spook away multi-pass good, but it doesn't, like, Quinn doesn't even flinch. And Issa says, Quinn, the spear was, well, still is hers, Kovanen's. It was the same spear she took up when her family was killed. It's the spear she wielded that entire brutal war. I should know I fought beside Kovanen from the beginning to the declared end of that war, and I have no desire to stop now. Before she was assigned to that cushy desk job and gussied up with that rank, she gifted me this spear, her spear, the spear that started it all. And I desire to gift it to you, for if you are the term with her, then you are the person who knows her best, who is not her. And she raises her hand very quickly to wave away any incoming protests. I know you said you barely knew her at the Alia, but the sentiment you express is special. It is my desire that Kovanen's battle continue on until the hopefully not especially bitter true end. So to you, She smirks as she uses Quinn's exact phrasing, the woman in love with her. I bequeath you this spear, that you may continue to battle alongside her. And Issa hands her the spear. Assist this woman who is, as you so eloquently and aptly put it then and now, everything to and with you, to making real her desires, cousin. Quinn accepts it. She's awed. Thank you, Does it have a name? And Issa says, no, our weapons are an extension of ourselves. Which only makes it more sentimental, right? So Quinn clings to this thing. Thank you, Issa. And Issa just shrugs and says, I didn't do anything but acknowledge it was already truth, Quinn. And she's like totally chill about this, incredibly cool. Quinn is moved and her eyes actually teared up and she's at a loss for words. She traces her fingers along the length of the spear. And Issa just like, okay, I can't be too hard about this. I've obviously like ruined this girl. So she squeezes her shoulder and says, don't do anything I wouldn't do, cousin. Run along now. Quinn does. She trusts for the door. But Issa's not following her. So she taps and says, are you coming to say goodbye? And Issa's like, I've never been the best at goodbyes. And Quinn's like, you improve with practice, cousin. Come say farewell to us, especially to Isadora, whatever she's become with you. And Issa's eyes widen, and she mutters under her breath, sharp fucking girl. So be it! Just a moment, though. And so she goes to her mech, and she accesses her portable printer, and she prints something out. And then she rejoins Quinn, and she walks with her to where y'all are at the Adolith to meet up with the rest of you, and the Arathlands. We're already bidding you farewell. Quinn rushes right up to all of you, the Hex Girls, and she shows you this fucking spear. She's grinning.
Oh, don't run of that.
Yeah, Ash says, oof, she's gonna poke her eye
Yeah.
out. A spear.
No!
Lyra excitedly informs her that she too has a collection of archaic weapons.
Quinn's like elated.
Who's actually seen one of these things work before because of Eska's like, that's not archaic, Lyra.
Yeah.
That thing will kill you.
This thing will fuck you up, says S.
Well, yes, but so will Labrasax. It just depends, you know? Some things are useful.
No, I mean, it pierces through hard plate armor.
Yeah, it pierces directly through armor. S actually draws out holes. Hers snaps it out and shows you. She just slams it right through her own mech, and it goes right into it.
Lyra wants 6.
When, before you go wheeling that thing around, we're gonna have a talk.
I can fight mechs without mech. It will be beautiful.
Yeah.
Lyra, you're not doing it without at least a half-size power armor set up. Also, Quinn, come here, we're gonna talk about practice.
Yeah, as S says that if Quinn does poke her eye out, it'll at least only make her look cooler.
He is cruel.
Please don't. I will get literally murdered.
What do you like? How are you?
You're already like wanted. We'll just do what we did to the last 4 people who came after us.
It's true.
Yes, that's different though. I mean, like, I will get literally super murdered.
Ultra murdered.
Oh, cool. We'll super do what we did last time.
Yeah.
I did not know that there were different levels.
It's
of
not the
death.
same, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah. What's Isadora doing all this?
Since Hyrule left, she probably just, went back to working on whatever it is she's currently doing on her laptop.
Yeah, well, she needs to start leaving, and Hyrule has shown up. Like, so, yeah, Isadora, you do need to leave. You need to pack back up onto the Adolith. But yeah.
All right, so she does.
Yeah. So Issa approaches you. She's looking kind of awkward. May we speak privately a moment?
Oh, of course.
So she'll follow you to somewhere a little bit less public. Okay, I had a really pleasant time with you, and I hope we'll be able to find a way to make more time with each other. That is something I desire very much.
Indeed. It would be lovely to continue this.
She's really happy by that. She's flushed a little. I Okay, I have an important question to find the answer to soon, though. And okay, I'm just going to get to the point. I wish to speak to you on your terms. This is a Nana Shai custom I learned about from the matchmaker. I do not consider you Nana Shai, but I feel this will be the most impactful way to speak this, and that is what I desire. She takes your hands, and she puts a pair of dog tags in your palm, and she closes your hand back over them. These are soldier's dog tags with my chosen name upon them and my date of birth, but not my date of death. They are symbolic of my continued existence alongside you, even though we part here today. And if the worst should come to pass, you can alter them and put my date of death upon them. But my accord to you as the term I desire to be with you obliges me to do all I can to return to your side, and so I shall. So I guess look forward to needing to make no alterations and to me taking those back from you in what should hopefully feel like no time at all, either out of the briefness or just out of accounting for our scale, you know, the weight of time rests upon both of us. She's done, she stops talking. Stands there awkwardly.
Of course. Well, I apologize, I have nothing to give you in return, but I can make the same promise to you.
Aw.
I won't be dying out there.
This makes her really happy. As you basically confirmed you're the turn back with her. Great. And now it's just like, she's like, I guess we better get going then. She like gives you a quick kiss on the cheek, doesn't want to be too weird about this, but then Russia like goes back to join the group if you don't do anything bigger.
She smooches back.
Cute. Harold like rejoins the rest of the group. They don't make fun of her, but they give her a look like they're going to as soon as you all leave. The Rathlands bid you farewell as you get on to the Adolith, and they wish you good fortune. They tell you you won't be fighting alone because the Rathlands is, at minimum, Kavanan with you. And they say to feel free to speak to them anytime via those matchmakers because they have them. They all have printed them out. And once you leave, they'll have a discussion that's a pilot log that we don't have to go over. We have this Halloween session to go to. So you get into Adolith and you got to get to the Chamwell. You arrive at the Chamwell. And Quinn has printed out a second matchmaker, and she's installed it in her room on the Adolith. And then she quickly calls an emergency meeting before you can get into the Chamwell and start the party.
Yes.
So I guess you all show up?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Sylvia's first there.
Yeah. She's not dressed up for Halloween yet when she shows up, and her energy is serious. Like, in all caps, serious. She stands in front of you all, fidgeting nervously, and she says, "Hello, family." She just checks to make sure that's okay. Nobody corrects her.
Yeah. It was just, hi,
Yeah.
Quinn?
Oh, good. We live in interesting times, and we are about to encounter some very interesting people. I don't want to patronize you. I don't want to offend you. But please believe me when I tell you, you do not know these people like I do. These are hollow people living hollow lives, and they will be envious of your fullness, just as I once was. And they will seek to excise it, for if they cannot have it, then nobody can. And I'm so sorry I didn't take the time to prepare you all better for this. I didn't know we were going to be invited to this, and I was absorbed in, she blushes, other things. Please do all you can to enjoy this party, but don't sign anything. Don't agree to anything. Keep a close eye on your drinks. Be polite. Present yourselves as just awestruck rubes or disinterested mercenaries. I'll take care of everything else.
Sylvia just like looks at Quinn, very funny. She goes like, "Why you thought I was gonna sign anything anywhere is a surprise to me, but sure. Thank you for looking out for me."
Lyra totally is convinced that like the whole thing is full of vampires or something.
Yeah, it's like this is a room full of vampires.
Just absolutely not on board with what's going on right now.
We got a room full of vampires
Bryn
here.
might also add, as Bryn, he's been around people who have power.
Mm-hmm.
He knows.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, don't insult anybody.
Yeah, don't insult anybody.
They would take it extremely personally.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course not. You literally insult vampires. I
Yeah.
mean, I assume that's what we're facing because of the way you were talking.
Well,
They can
everyone
do
knows
all
those
they want, but you cannot strike back. Will not end well.
Yeah.
there were a lot of metaphors back in the old times between capitalists and vampires. So
Mhm.
you're not entirely wrong, Lyra.
Quinn tells you that whatever she does at this party, whatever she says at this party, that just know that that's not me. I'm still with you. I'm still a hex girl. And just please trust me. And understand that everything I'm about to do is completely necessary. And then she fidgets. And she looks a little wistful. This holiday called Halloween now. It was once known as Samhain. It is a night where fairies and lost souls can come to our world. And that we might go to theirs. I love all of you, and I'll see you after the party.
Just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You sound like you're going off to die.
She does, doesn't she?
It's kind of like going off to war where you're not having a good prospect.
You'll be okay. I promise. No vampires will get you. You are strong and very fast.
If this point we leave, I'm gonna leave everyone else,
Mhm.
and in the hallway, I'm like, so, her dad, and this is out of earshot of you.
Yeah, of Quinn. Yep.
Her dad is a really bad person. And I can't
Really bad.
the words. I don't have the type of words necessary to explain how bad this man is.
It's called a Roth.
You know how we try not to do war crimes? Generally.
Yes. Generally.
Imagine
war
that.
crimes?
Imagine this if you didn't try to not do war.
What if you tried to do them instead?
Yeah. What if you did that on purpose?
All the energy you put into not doing war crimes, just flip.
Yep.
So we're here to finish him then, yeah?
No.
That's
I
not the
don't
point
think.
of this.
I do not
I'm still
think we
not
would have the
sure.
opportunity of this one because we would probably get murdered by hundreds of security guards.
Yep. But
I would not be murdered. I am very fast.
Alice.
However, that would we would be we would have the military after us at that point.
Yeah.
And while I appreciate your enthusiasm, I would prefer not to make an enemy of still the most powerful military
In the galaxy.
in the galaxy.
Yes.
I am disappointed, but I will.
Yeah.
His time will come.
Yeah. His time will come. It is only a matter of time. Wink.
Just maybe not. Let's not do it on his terms.
Yeah. I will tell you, as you, Alice and Fefner know, during the nap there were those sensors that scanned for all forms of weapons. Those are here on the Chamwell. You can't come in here with any form of weaponry.
That's fine.
Does that pick up Sylvia's normal mobility aid stuff? Or
Now,
is that
she's...
doing-
no, a wizard is allowed to carry his walking stick.
Okay, so Sylvia can in fact come in here with amplified leg braces and stuff. They're
Yep.
technically components of her parts.
Yeah, additionally, just like at the nap, you can bring things that are could be used as weapons, but don't technically count as weapons, right? But yeah.
Yeah, so she'll do that, and she picked a costume with sharp-looking nails.
Yep.
Just for maximum intimidation.
All right, welcome to the party, everybody.
Oh God, they're here.
They're here. Rince Winters, who was the person who invited you, you're his esteemed guest, rushes to greet you as you arrive. So he rushes up to greet you. You are his esteemed guests. He welcomes you to the party. Svava and Lionel are leaning against the bar right at the entrance, chilling together because they've become really good friends, and they hate this place. Their energy is fuck this place. Probably, I can't control Lionel, but Svava's energy is deeply fuck this place. But yeah, so yeah, he brings he shows you where where the bar is, just an open bar, all the platters of delicious food, and he says, make yourselves at home. Quinn has
value of home.
Yeah, Quinn has already arrived. She's just on the GM layer right now, but you can spot her through the crowd. She's over by her blood parents in that outfit, in that costume.
Blood parents.
Yep.
Bios.
The bios, as we say. So yeah, feel free. Quinn's over here. I'm gonna do a scene really quick. I would like you two to do a bit of roleplay first before I begin that thing. The antipos term I introduced you. I told you that exists here in just a moment.
Say, well, sir, thank you for inviting us. You have a. Is this like his home or is this like a venue?
This is happening in his sector, but several of the other mayors have gotten together, and it does comprise 3 sectors: Sector 7, Sector 8, and Sector 9 that you can move through. You're currently in Sector 8. His sector. Please don't move to the others. I didn't make maps for them. I didn't have time.
Oh, I'm going.
Fuck you.
Here I go.
Oh, I don't know where you're going.
Oh shit, it's just a skybox. Ah!
I can't believe Isadora's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. There was a kill box.
I do all of the expected pleasantries to get this guy to go away.
Yeah, he lets you know that your behavior reflects on him. So watch, please, be good. And he walks away to go schmooze with Largo and Garth, who will not be schmoozing back, especially not Garth, who will have nothing to do with him.
Alright, everybody.
Sylvia just looks at Bryn and goes like, they treated the esteemed guests about like I expected they would.
Just do whatever. Don't kill anybody, please.
One of the things
for vampires,
anybody
they're
at
very
random.
not very good.
yeah, one thing I do want to point out is Meliora Lambert is here, but she's in one of those proxy cells, those uncomfortably sexy robot bodies. You can see her up here. Like, let me make her pog a bit big, and then I'll shrink it back down again, so you can see I just photoshopped Integra Helsing's face onto General Grievous's body.
The sexiest combination, as we all know.
It's like 6'8" or something.
She's like, they're like 7 foot, they're like 7'11". These things are huge. She big.
Anyway, Isadora's at a party, so wallflower mode, activate.
Quinn begins talking to her parents. I'm about to begin being awful to myself, and I'm into it. Please don't kink shame me for this. Mother, I wish to apologize for what I said the last time we spoke. I was wrong. I'm elated you succeeded. Truly. Brace yourselves, here comes her real name. Ah, Quintessence, darling! It's quite alright. All's forgiven. You're just going through a phase. Ah, that makes sense, yes. I'm going through a phase. Don't make fun of me! I'm going through a phase. But just Quinn, please. Mother? Irina smiles, like, softly, but like a kind of a sinister soft smile, right? Still working through that rebelliousness with all those boorish mercenaries, Alright, Quinn. Default says, it's only a matter of time before I've gotten it all off my system, Mother, I assure you, but thank you. Amelia just glides right in. That's purity for you. I remember being such a way myself when I was around your age, Miss Riesling. And Default says, oh, what an honor. But please call me Quinn, Benevolent Shepherd. My friends call me Quinn. And Meliora is delighted. Of course, Quinn. So long as you call me Meliora. And Default responds, it would be my pleasure, Meliora. And Meliora says, then we are friends. Are you accepting gifts this Halloween? And Default says, well, it is a day for tricks and treats, is it not? I am accepting treats, for sure. Tricks, however, well, I'm not personally fond of them. I do desire to embrace the true spirit of this holiday. Meliora makes another delighted sound. We are of the same mind in these matters as well. What a delight. You remind me of myself. Default dies inside as she beams and says, gosh, such a moving compliment. I'm flustered. Meliora opens a compartment up on her right arm of the proxy cell she's piloting, and she withdraws a rolled-up poster. A treat for you then, Quinn. And Default gasps in elation. Oh, Meliora, you are too kind, too generous. You shouldn't have. She feigns being touched. How thoughtful. She unrolls it. It's that propaganda poster of Kovanen, looking determined, staring forward, with that slogan, anyone can be Kovanen, beneath. Ah! I speak to her often, your Kovanen. Truly aspirational, your Kovanen. A loyal and stalwart defender of and pursuer of true justice and total liberation, Kovanen. She rolls it up with a smile. Thank you, Meliora. I shall cherish this. That ends that quick scene. Wow. How's it going down there, folks?
Well, that's hardwired to where we're all in terrible situations.
Yep, so what kind of trouble do you get up to? Also, Becker, you
Nurgle breaks in, just grabs Quinn. This is a Fire Emblem joke.
Yeah?
Sylvia is in fact going to have watched, tried to hang out close enough to overhear what was going on with Quinn, and her first thought is, oh wow, she's overselling this way too hard. There's no way they believe her.
They appear to be believing her because Quinn's stats have changed.
Oh my god. I have a question here. Can I read a situation to see, to kind of like gauge how Quinn's parents are reacting to her and how Meliora's reacting?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. Let me figure out what I'm typing here. Roll 1d20 plus 6. Target number 10. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Oh, very
Yeah,
good. These people are just, they believe they're complete hooks in this 16-year-old girl. They just think that they've put her in her place. She's completely fooled them. They can't see past the surface.
Sylvia's just like staring at this like, oh god, you're kidding me. And she just shakes her head like, you know what? I should have just trusted her.
They
And
can't.
she wanders off
They
into
can't.
trouble in a more conventional way.
They're not taking her seriously because she's fucking 16 years old, and it's biting them in the ass right now, right?
She's just like having like this. Oh my god, you fucking nincompoops!
Yeah.
You're absolute idiots.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
Has them fooled.
Yeah, if Quinn was getting herself, like, accidentally digging her own grave, she might have interceded, but at this point she's just like, this is gonna be a shitty night for Quinn, but honestly, I'm better off doing exactly what she asked me to do now, and not making her worry about me too. So she goes off to get into trouble in a probably more natural to Sylvia way, which is, I am assuming, walking past the wrong people and getting into an awkward conversation that is violently charged.
So I will introduce.
You've locked eyes, the Monopoly Man.
I will inform you. That Monopoly Man.
Oh no, it's like a Pokemon battle, but you have to play Monopoly now. Fuck.
It's true.
Oh no, it's a miserable game. It was designed to be sad.
Rich Uncle Pennybags has got you to sight.
I will inform all of you that the main characters are here bumming around. Alice Northwoods and Hallie Conifer are so out of costume that they don't even have hex pugs. They're not even. Yeah, she's not. They're not taking this seriously at all.
Yeah. But like Holly doesn't need a costume.
Yeah, Hallie's already dressed up as a witch. She's fine. I guess Alice is probably dressed up as a chef, because why wouldn't she be? Loka, you're here. What's Amnon dressed up as? I guess Loka's not here. Amnon's dressed up as whatever Amnon would dress up as.
Amnon's dressed up as Lennox.
Yeah, of course. It's so good.
It lives. It's the oldest joke.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone else is dressed up like whatever. It's fine. I thought of costumes, but then I forgot them and I didn't write them down. But Ark is dressed up like the Dread Pirate Roberts because he researched that. He has a matchmaker. That means Pelagia's probably Princess Buttercup because they're married.
How did they get that?
Yep.
How did they get that? That's bad, actually.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Isadora Riva Tavros is here and she's really hot.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, good for her. All right, Lyra, what are you going to do to Hugh Cunningham, the Monopoly Man?
Wait, is it Sylvia or me?
I mean,
I'm over there too.
Who's murdering Hugh first?
Sylvia will murder Hugh first, I suppose.
Okay, go ahead.
So Sylvia, who is Hugh Cunningham? Would she know him?
He is the mayor of the 9th sector.
Which is...
It's here on the Chamuel. He's another mayor here.
Oh god, I just remembered something. Don't Sylvia and Lyra both have bad reputations from previous get a drink rolls?
They do, and he is aware of them. He is not even acknowledging that you are approaching him. That is how beneath him you are.
Yeah, Sylvia is not going... Well, dang it, that's not very fun, because that means Sylvia would probably walk past him to just get food.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to be causing hijinks and having fun here, so...
Yeah, I mean, it is a day for tricks and treats, is it not?
I mean, if it helps you at all, Lyra is loudly complaining to Sylvia the whole time, because she got really excited about fighting vampires, and there's a single vampire here.
Lyra, they're metaphorical vampires.
But I don't even know what it looks like, and I was finally going to see.
I will.
Sylvia just idly, points at you, probably like that guy, I don't know.
I will say, the dude who's named Lucian Bezos up here, gosh, the Bezos is bred all the way to the year 9000. Please eliminate them. He is dressed like a vampire.
Nice.
The sad truth is that she doesn't actually know what vampires look like.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just gonna she sees him and says this while looking directly at him.
Yeah.
Which is probably a little insulting, honestly.
Yeah. Lucian is dressed like a vampire. Anyway, he's got the cape and the fancy, romance era fucking,
big medallion.
Yep, the big cravat and the fluffy, that bullshit, yeah. Oh, Fefner, you never did tell me, is Venue actually here, or no?
I mean, Garth's probably got his assistant on him.
Okay, thank you. We'll continue. So what are you saying to Hugh he's not even honoring the JoJo-ness of your approach?
I think that there needs to be a contrivance here to make Sylvia, run into him. What is something we could have happen that just, forces a small amount of conflict into the situation?
She could accidentally drop something. She could.
Oh, that's true. She could.
Mm-hmm.
I think what'll happen here is they're over by just champagne shots or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia and Lyra are bored as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So Sylvia just kind of goes I don't know, want to do shots?
Mm-hmm.
Walks over to the table and just accidentally bumps into Hugh as she's reaching for a thing. Goes oh, sorry about that. And just completely ignores him as she takes her for a shot.
He sneers at you and says, "Yes, you are." And then he turns back to talking to Ryan.
Excuse me?
You are excused.
No, that was a question. When you're asked a question, it's usually courteous to answer.
He's gonna roll to take someone out and just shut you down.
No one playing Monster Hearts.
Yep.
All right.
Oh no! Oh god!
He takes out a gun and shoots Sylvia.
Is he going to? Is this violently or?
It's a very verbal know your place.
Okay. So I am going to counter that.
Are you gonna do it with a fist? Are you gonna do it with a physical punch?
He may be in his element right now and a little bit overpuffed, but Sylvia just took 2 champagne shots, and she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And number 2, I would also like to point out that definitely in a one-on-one, she is not physically intimidated by anyone in this room who is not security.
I mean, Joseph. Have you seen the security? The security bots when I make them big, so you can see that I used to follow. New Vegas. Look at that. Security drones from Fallout New Vegas. Sorry. Anyway, we're going back.
Yeah, I do see that. She's not particularly intimidated by anyone here who isn't a security bot or military, and she's just kind of
Or maybe Meliora's uncomfortably sexy proxy sub, because that thing looks like it could really fuck something up, but yes.
Yeah,
Don't respect the
things
rich.
actually physically look dangerous, so
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna argue for either an opposed roll here, or for Sylvia just outright ignoring the result of this one, because I don't think it makes logical sense that this would in fact shut her down.
I mean,
It would if she was a high society lady.
she's completely.
She's literally the least bad.
She's completely unfazed by this, but you feel the sting of how this would have been if it mattered, right? But this does not fucking matter,
that's
right?
What says to him. She's like, wow. I actually cared, that would have really hurt.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Take another drink. Can
Yeah.
I get you a drink or something? You look dry. And sad.
He sips his champagne and continues to ignore you. He's completely checked out. Ryan smirks and says, "Look at them, thinking they even have a place here. What is Rince even thinking?" And
I
you
don't
like
have a place here. I'm here as a guest.
you keep
How
telling
do you get invited to parties?
you keep telling yourself that, kitten. He says, and he makes it. He does that sexist. You know.
Hey, Jenner.
Mm-hmm.
Lyra would like to enter the chat.
Lyra has entered the chat.
The wife defendant has logged on.
Lyra becomes the white guy.
Lyra's going to examine this fellow all over. Loudly looking for any kind of secret weapon or some kind of evidence of that he is impressive in some way physically, because it's a very strange thing for him to be talking like that within dying distance. I would also like to point out her background as a clan exile from a culture that believes in honor duels.
Yeah.
As an argument that I should have this with advantage.
Yeah, and go ahead and take it, and he will respond to however you roll, and don't worry about this, but yeah, go ahead and take your roll, and go ahead and add your background to it. Oh, very nice. 18, I mean, that's a big success. So yeah, he looks like he gulps a little, and like tugs at his tie, right? But then, like, even though there's only 2 security bots on the MEP, there's several here. So one of them just kind of coasts up to you, and he smirks as one guy. Oh, by the way, you now notice Josephus over there, who's being shadowed by security like a black person at Walmart. He kind of gives you a knowing look, as you have now also begun being shadowed by security like a black person at Walmart.
Lyra happily will, no matter if this thing follows her around, will happily regale the security bot with all the horrible things that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Not because she's trying to intimidate it, but just because it's just fun.
Yeah, if they can't do anything to you, you can't do anything to them. You're starting to recognize the power of this, right? Yeah.
It's hilarious.
You feel watched, Lyra.
Good.
Dangerously watched.
You just hear Bryn's voice. Please don't kill anybody.
Do you just kind of follow these are your danger instincts, right? These are your there's a fight here, right? This is twinging your knowledge of what want to punch with like punchiness. This is your fight slut instincts have pinged. A presence here. Another fight slut is here in this room.
Here,
There's another.
Echo in your head. Please don't do a murder.
As you look up to follow that ping, you see that big white Sussurar over there. Her name, the Vika. Her arms are crossed and she's watching you with like an unimpressed flick of her ear and like a flick of her tail. She's dressed really cool, like all sorts of like feathered plumage and like a battle plate. You have no idea what she's dressed as because this is from Sussurar lore. I'm the only one who knows who she's dressed as. But yeah, this character is effectively the General Sherman of the Sussurar that she's dressed as.
Lyra will actually approach her because Lyra doesn't understand Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
She was told you were supposed to dress up, and no one told her what that meant.
Yeah. Let me spice this up a bit. If General Sherman and Judge Dredd had a baby, that's who she's that is who she's dressed as.
Oh no.
Lyra's dressed in a more formal dress that is obviously adapted from multiple cultures' battle dress from Old Earth, and approaches her kind of with a I had suspected I would be alone in my choice of dress, but it is nice to see someone else here who shares some degree of. She gestures to her everything.
Yeah, she smiles at you, but like her mouth is full of sharp, deadly teeth, and it's not friendly like Velius's. And she says, "Hello, cub. Off your mother's teat, I see."
Hostile. Interesting.
She's cold. She radiates cold.
Interesting. What have I done to you, stranger?
Nothing, and that is offensive.
What is offensive?
That you have done nothing to her? That you are nothing?
Is she hinting on you? If she's
you
hitting
know,
on you,
this
you have
one-
my permission to go for it.
This is it's like a flirt, but also like a fight flirt. Like this is like a murder flirt, like a let's fight, like let's fuck and then kill each other kind of energy from her.
I mean,
The order is
just
negotiable.
does that even harder and in character. You've established this is her type.
What's interesting? You remind me of a young warrior who has just learned that he is allowed to make his own challenges.
She smirks.
So eager.
Okay, now she's entertained. Like now you can see like her lips actually tug up a little bit in a smile, right? You have entertained her with this. Now you're on the same level.
Going to die.
Sylvia, what are you up to? And then Isidore, are you just going to continue to not engage with anybody ever?
Yeah, all
Great,
fire mode
yep.
engaged.
I think Sylvia's going to be like, she was going to continue her thing with Cunningham and Roberts, and then she kind of like looks at them and goes like, "Yeah, you guys are literally not worth it."
Yeah. They feel the same about you.
She-
Western cartoon would think that.
Yeah.
Basically, she just goes like, "Oh yeah, right. You guys are pathetic.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm glad I remember that life exists." And she's
Josephus actually.
me just in time to see Lyra having fight flirting
Yep.
with this beefcake of a woman.
She
And
big.
she just kind of looks up and she goes like, "Oh, Lyra, you made a friend." Thanks.
Vika, she like does not agree. Nope, we are not friends.
Oh, my apologies, Lyra. You made an enemy.
Vika agrees with that.
Enemy implies that you're on even footing.
Yeah.
That is kind of the vibe Sylvia's giving off here. Is like
Yeah.
we're not particularly interested in backing down from
Mm-hmm.
whatever challenge you have. If you really feel, she kind of like, keeps an eye on this and goes like, I couldn't help but like overhear your conversation, and under normal circumstances, I'd recommend you two take it outside, but I don't think any of our hosts would enjoy that.
Yeah. I have a solution. Josephus shouts out as he rushes across the room to join you two. How about we solve this with a children's card game? He pulls out Fantasy
God.
the Fantasy Yu-Gi-Oh! Lyra.
Someone judge that person.
Oh, brother!
Sylvia
You did!
grabs him by the shoulder and goes like, "Please don't teach Lyra how to play competitive card games.
Wait,
I have
wait,
enough problems getting her to stop playing Dvorak at all hours."
wait, hold up. Wait, hold up. Lyra actually stops. Is like, wait a minute. You play Tokai at the Gathering as well?
Yeah, he's like excited. Hell yes. Vika is so like turned off like by this. This is not a game, right? But yeah.
Tokai is a time-honored tradition of Clan Warriors.
Yeah,
By
Eugene.
time-honored, I mean it is very old, and also we all have to play it growing up.
Eugene is drawn in by discussion of children's card games.
I heard you were playing card games.
I have heard that there are tales that some of these games were used to be played on vehicles, but it was rather unseemly, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So angry.
Why? Why is everyone dissing 5Ds forever?
It's so good, yeah. Josephus starts explaining the rules of the game to you and trying to get Vika to play, but Vika, again, this is not a game. She doesn't want anything to do with this. But Josephus will play around with you. Now Vika's getting increasingly insulted that she's just being ignored, right? As Josephus and you are on fleek, like we know how to poke this girl's buttons, right? We're fellow clanners here. We're gonna make a joke out of her, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, sure, her interest in this weird antagonism is still kind of there, but like okay, so I feel like this is probably something that she hasn't had anyone to play with since she was on her old planet, like as a kid. So like this is a really important, actually surprisingly important moment for her. She will play a couple of rounds with him.
Yeah, and he does like jeer at Vika, like lighten up, have a little fun in your life, get the stick out your butt. And she prickles at that and says, "I will take the stick out of my ass and I'll beat you with it, cub." And Josephus laughs. He says, "Joke's on you, bitch. I'm into it. Go ahead, beat me with the stick up your ass. I'm really turned on by this." And that just makes Eugenie go, I think I have better places to go.
Somebody just kind of confronts this like beef of a Russian movie stereotype and goes like, "So you're not saying you're intimidated to try your luck, are you?" I want to roll a threaten.
You're gonna roll it at Vika?
Specifically as like,
wait, who are you threatening? Why?
Her specifically, like, roll to threaten. Not in this case, not being like, I'm going to like threaten you in terms of like scare you down, but roll in like, I'm trying to
antagonize her.
Yeah.
Get her to play.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like literally go, are you too scared to play?
Yeah, make this fun-hating bitch play a fucking game.
Yeah. All right. Am I good to roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Oh.
Alas.
Yeah,
damn it. Like, literally, the sad thing is on a 4-up, I would have had a success there.
Yeah, damn
the
both dice.
score on her face is just overwhelming.
She's so scornful. She was gonna fucking murder you, but now she's just completely turned off, and she's like, this is beneath her. She's an honorable fighter. This is silly. She says, snorts and moves on. Goes and does something else, and Josephus like laughs at her as she leaves. She just has no idea how to have fun. Right?
Like shrugs and goes like, "Well, that works too."
Yep.
I believe that I won that encounter because I got to play children's card games, and she didn't.
Yeah, Bryn, what are you doing this party? Who do you hang out with? And also, Fefner, on your turn, let me know what Lionel does.
The first thing Bryn does is he goes to the bar, he orders a drink, and he downs it just immediately, and then he gets a second one that he does not do that with. He drinks it because this is the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
He is trying to not get the attention of Ark over there and the rest of the bounty hunters that are out for his head. I think he knows that they can't like do anything right now, but he'd prefer just not get noticed anyways.
I mean, here's the thing: Ark had just pointedly looked at you, flicked his ear, and then went back to talking with his wife and friends.
Yes, and then Bryn also is like he knows eventually he's going to be summoned to talk to the guy, and he does not. He's not like doing anything to make that happen sooner.
Rhea Tavros, sorry, I pronounced the name wrong, will come chum up with you, nurse a drink beside you, and just like complain about bureaucracy and like civility and how it's dumb and bad.
Bryn can complain about bureaucracy all day.
Yep. You mutually commiserate over this how dumb and bad and stupid this is.
I gotta get this form signed 4 times by 4
gross.
different people.
Yeah, you know how hard it is. You know, for a galaxy of trillions, it's impossibly difficult to find a notary.
It's on purpose.
Yeah, it's completely on purpose. Yeah.
Notary publics like war is a racket.
She's got spicy opinions. Alice, if you want to spout a couple off before we move over to Fafner and Lionel.
I mean, I was actually going to mention that she is incredibly hostile to any form of formality of any kind.
She hates this. She's hating this very much.
She hates this place. She doesn't even drink. She's kind of a little straight edge, but not like a jerk about it. And like, at one point, Will mention that it almost is enough to make her want to try alcohol, because at this point, like, anything would be better than being here and being sober.
I will point out that the food here is actually really luxurious and fucking delicious. It's like decadent. It's decadent.
Also rich, though.
It's decadent.
Yeah, which is part of the problem.
Yep.
Give me a fucking hamburger.
Yeah. It's like, I just want, like, meat and potatoes.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah, you two are bonding over this. This is mutual fuck this.
Bryn is a salt of the earth kind of guy.
Yep.
Just wants some fries and a milkshake.
Yep. Alright. Fefner, what is Lionel up to since Isadora will have nothing to do with anything here?
Yeah, Isadora's just sitting next to Bryn and just also drinking. Oh, also, real quick, we never mentioned what our Halloween costumes are, did we?
Yeah, you should tell everybody who your Halloween costumes are.
Alright, so Isadora's is kind of a deep cut. Hey, Jenner, you never did start watching this weekend.
I've been too busy. I will watch
right.
it eventually, but go ahead and spoil it. Don't worry, I'll watch it.
So, Isadora's dressed up as Odessa from that game. It's a slight deep cut, but okay, so further deep cut. Isadora is the character I designed in Daemon X Machina, and I specifically made her character design just thinking, alright, what trope do I want to avoid? Okay, I'm gonna make a character who would, I feel defy that trope. So, in my attempt to not spoil this very old RPG for Jenner.
So,
Big spoiler.
That
So
way of
yeah,
saying it.
it's a pretty significant spoiler in that game. Yeah.
all right, I'll catch up and I will laugh at this in hindsight. But yeah, I respect what I believe you were
You probably
implying
won't.
is some kind of deep own goal. Anyway, now who's Lionel dressed up as since he's your NPC?
Lionel is dressed up as... I just realized how fucking similar their names are. Odetta, specifically the Halloween variant from Dragalia Lost. Which I assume, I'm creating the universe here, so here's my wishful thinking. It's clearly not from the gacha game. It's clearly when Nintendo decides, hey, what if we also make a Suikoden game based on Dragalia? So, yeah, that exists in this universe. Hey, Nintendo, you can do that.
I respect you using your GM powers in this way.
It was a very good game, but it made no money whatsoever.
It's fine. It's the Chrono Cross of the Overture timeline. Bryn, what are you dressed?
Anyway,
Who are
yeah,
you? Sorry, yeah.
Like,
Bryn
yeah.
is dressed as Captain Haddock from Tintin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically the Halloween variant of Odetta is just like this spidery dress,
Hot.
blacks and purples.
Very sexy.
And also there's a parasol.
Yeah. Lyra, who are you dressed as?
So, Lyra's not dressed as anything specifically because she is dressed in formal, clan formal wear.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, clan formal wear is inexplicably very similar to what they wear, what the the northern tribe wears in Horizon Zero Dawn. So she's basically AOI.
I feel like it would also be like, for here, a clanner outfit would be a costume because they could just get appropriate when they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
So that is,
Yes.
in universe, that is what's happening.
Yeah. Josephus is dressed like Mr. Clean. He has a matchmaker, so he looked it up. He thought it was funny that Quinn called him Mr. Clean, and so he's dressed as Mr. Clean.
I forgot he was here.
Amazing.
Yeah. Who are you dressed as, Sylvia?
So, in the universe, Sylvia literally just put on, costume armor and cat ears and tail because of her call sign.
Mhm.
Out of universe, hey, Adora.
Yeah, he's dressed as Catra. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Svava is dressed as Ike from Fire Emblem. She has a matchmaker. She looked it up. She's cross-playing as Ike from Fire Emblem. But Soren's not here. Freya would dress up as Soren if they could associate with each other without getting exiled. Quintessence Riesling, don't laugh, is dressed as Karen Kanzuki from Street Fighter. She's a spoiled rich girl fighter who has a really cool character arc that none of these fucking idiots are gonna know about. Or if she becomes an actual good guy and saves the world, wink.
I haven't heard of it. So.
Probably never heard of it. Really obscure. Again, I already mentioned who Ark and Pelagia and Iosef is just dressed like, he doesn't fucking know what to dress like, so he's just wearing a clown wig and a clown nose, and he's just really uncomfortable here. He's dressed like a clown, and Arx like thinks it's funny that he's not taking this seriously, but also he's worried about his adopted son who has a lot of trauma and needs some therapy. Vargo and Garth are not dressed like anything, nor is Meliora. They're doing a flex, right? They're basically saying we don't abide by your rules. Go ahead and cry about it if you want.
Yeah, there is an uncomfortably sexy robot body, and then just two men in suits. One of them's, very formal and also old. The other one just has like a, shirt vaguely open variant.
Mm-hmm. He's doing the sexy.
Got like the top 2 buttons undone.
Yep. He's a
very deep V-neck.
Yeah, he's a capital B bad boy. Vadim and Irina are dressed as Overture lore characters from Deliverance history that I don't want to big divulge, but it's exactly what you think. Vadim is dressed as a big-time war criminal, and Irina is dressed as also big-time, like basically the Hillary Clinton of Overture.
But war crimes.
Yeah.
But I repeat myself.
Yeah. Basically, Vadim is Henry Kissinger of Overture, and Irina is Hillary Clinton of Overture.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Yeah. So Eugene just wore some Groucho Marx glasses, which in Overture.
He didn't wear it there. He entered the party, didn't know the quorum, and they just shoved them on.
Yeah. So.
And he just has to deal.
Yeah, and Hugh and Ryan are just they're dressed as whatever. I didn't actually think of. I didn't actually think of costumes for them because fuck them, fuck the rich. Rhea is dressed as the Clockwork Knight from Bloodborne. Maria of the Clockwork Tower, because I said so. Yeah. She doesn't have a matchmaker, so she did some time travel to know what this is. Just deal with it. Speaking of her not having a matchmaker, let's get her one. Quinn walks away from her parents and goes and leans up against this table, and starts playing with her tablet. And Iosif notices her. So she's moved very purposefully into his line of sight and has begun to peruse her tablet. And Iosif notices her and strides up excitedly because he recognizes her, right? Oh, wow. Fancy meeting you here, except not really. Huh. Still, small galaxy. I don't believe we've been properly introduced. I'm Iosif Chiquita. And Default looks up from her tablet and she speaks very scornfully. You must have me mistaken for someone else. I don't associate with vermin. Iosif sputters? I'm sorry? Yes, you are. She strides away.
I hate it.
Oh no,
we're gonna have to do something now. I hate it.
He gets a blip on his tablet that he got a message received, and so he pulls up his tablet as he looks to Quinn with confusion, what? Right? And it's a blueprint for a matchmaker, and a brief message that says, "I'm glad you made it." And he looks up from the tablet towards you as you approach. Bran, yeah.
Hey, I lean in and say, "Listen, she's doing a thing. Don't take it personally. She doesn't mean that. Her parents are here and they're terrible. You see them over there?" And I kind of just gesture, turn my head just ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they're bad. Don't go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia's just watching this and going no, don't give away the subterfuge.
I just nods.
You did not hear him. He was very, very subtle.
Yeah, very, very quiet. Yeah.
She probably isn't.
Here's the thing.
I am definitely saying that.
You're in range of Nimish, Ark is a Nimish. You see his ear flick. You see Ark's ear flick. You might have been heard, but he doesn't react. He just keeps drinking and chumming with his wife, right? Iosmith nods to you and says, "Please look after her. It's whatever." Right? He rushes over to Ark and he shows Ark what he was given, and Ark gives him a nod and takes the tablet from him and walks over to Rhea Tavros and starts talking to her and gives her the blueprint for the matchmaker. So Rhea has now gotten a matchmaker.
Why is everyone getting this? It's not gonna say secret.
You fool!
Well, he's making it look very. He's making it. He's looking very like Quinn played it off like I'm playing on my phone like doing gotcha, right? He's playing it off like, hey, check out this naked lady I looked up on the internet, and Rhea like looks over and goes, ooh, right? They're just being foul over here, right? Oh, actually, what he'll do is he'll pull up your bounty, Bryn. And look at this number of what this man is worth.
God damn it. God damn it.
But while he's showing Rhea your bounty and talking about how much you're worth, he slides her the blueprints onto her tablet, right?
Please, just not right now. Not right now.
You could take him out right now and be so filthy rich.
Except this is a party and you couldn't bring weapons.
Have you ever seen this many zeros in your life, Rhea?
It's especially alive. It's not a dead or alive contract. It's alive. It's capture. It's very important. It's nothing if he's dead. Because the man wanted him to suffer.
You can knock him out! Drug his drink! This is awful, never mind. This is awful.
Like, Ark and Rhea start, like, haggling, right? Like, Rhea's like 70-30, and Ark's like, no. Like, I'll take the 70, you take the 30. She's like, oh, come on now. Like, they start bantering back and forth like they have good camaraderie, right?
I feel like meat. I feel like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
They have it over.
What does Lionel do? Swava's just chilling out with him, right? She's watching this.
Yeah.
She does not look happy, by the way, having seen Quinn doing this, right? She knows what Quinn is doing because she's a shy, right? She knows that Quinn is doing this thing. They're using this fic, right? So she's not happy. But what is Lionel doing?
Lionel, of course, is the type of person who just knows when they're in an extremely passive-aggressive room.
Mm-hmm.
He can just feel it, so he's just sort of sitting next to Svava, drink in hand, trying to be polite. So he's just kind of sitting there, astral projecting in terror, I guess.
How quick would this place burn if I just a little, Lionel, just a little fire, just a bit, just as a treat? This is Svava quietly to him. I didn't use Svava voice. I'm sorry. I'll use Svava voice next time I speak as her.
It would ignite so quickly it would burn places outside of here, sadly.
She snaps her fingers. They keep talking. Irina and Vadim draw quintessence over to Garth and say, Quinn, we would like you to meet Garth Whoop, this CEO, I believe it is, of Shinrato Corp.
Yeah, so here's this man who is just... how to describe him? Who's the villain from Berserk? That's Griffith, right?
I don't, yeah.
Just
It's Griffith.
incredibly gorgeous man, also probably a complete monster. Crossed with the facial expressions of Furio Tigre from Phoenix Wright.
Nice.
Oh my god.
I have shorthanded that to just Harl from Dragalia Lost, because that is just the amount of smug energy he exudes.
Mm-hmm. So...
Incredibly beautiful, but like, you just look at him, you're like, ow.
Yeah. They say, Garth, this is our beautiful daughter, Quintessence.
Ah, yes, pleased to meet you.
Yeah, so Quinn's gonna do a roll to see if, what is it, the perceive, read a situation to see if he's aware of what her parents are doing, right? Because he might not be. Oh no! Oh god, she assumes the worst.
Accuracy on that. She's a celebrity.
Oh yeah, let's see if I can at
This
least...
is the exact kind of situation she should have accuracy on.
Okay, let's see if okay, good. Oh gosh. Okay, she just barely picks up that he has no idea her parents are trying to hook her up. Right?
Yeah, he's none the wiser.
Fuck, she has no way to signal to him, and also, like, that this is what they're trying to do without breaking character. So she just smiles pleasantly, because she has to show her parents that she knows what they're trying to do, and she's agreeable to it, but this guy's gonna hate it. Oh wow, ooh, you're quite the handsome man. It's a pleasure to meet you. Says a complete lesbian. She's really happy that he's rebuffing her, like, internally, but externally she has to pout and look hurt. What you do not like what you see? She does like does this little spinny, does a skirt spinny?
Yes, you look quite good.
Her parents are so happy that she's going along with this.
This is uncomfortable.
Why don't you take a walk along the Broadway together?
Well, I have quite a few people I need to meet and greet with here still. I don't know if I can just jog off on a whim.
Yeah, and Quinn says, "Oh, she has to act offended. Like, well, oh, am I not worth your time? Like, she's prickly. Are you too good for me?" And like her parents like get edged. Like, "Oh, are you too good for our daughter? We literally named Quintessence."
God.
He just like does the what's it called when you just like put your hands to the side of your jacket or whatever and just do that little up and down motion. But I suppose I can spare a few minutes for the daughter of such prestigious individuals such as yourself.
Right. So she does. She like slides her hand into his arm and leans against him and gives that bubbly Nanami laugh. Right? Yeah. Thank you. And they'll go for a lovely walk in the starlight on the boardwalk, and we'll just have to pilot log this horrible fucking thing together. But it's not. It's awful. Oh, please do.
Yeah, I'm interceding because this is too fucking creepy, and I refuse to have this happen to a 16-year-old kid.
I mean,
in a game where I can do something about it.
Garth is only 21, so it's not like super bad, but still, it's bad.
You can just stop that right there. This is bad. Sylvia's going to rock up as soon as like they're a slight distance away from Quinn's parents, and she's like reasonably certain this won't be seen as like deliberate. She kind of wanders over their way, and she kind of like goes, "I couldn't help but overhear you're the head of Shimano Corporo. Would you be interested in some intelligence that I've picked up of another company using something that I believe is proprietary corp technology?"
He looks over to see if Quinn's parents
They're
aren't looking.
they're watching like hawks. No. They look so proud of her daughter. Yay, she's going to find her. She's found herself a proper husband.
Oh God, why?
Well, I couldn't possibly miss this important intelligence briefing. So, perhaps perhaps Quintessence, you should run along and, I don't know, warm whatever spot we'll be standing on with your feet or whatever it is you do.
Yeah, here's my drink. Keep it warm, or cold. I don't really drink that often. And Sylvia just like awkwardly pushes this thing into Quinn's hand like she barely knows her.
Quinn doesn't accept it. She can't. Like, she recognizes that you're trying to save her, and she looks at you icily. And she says, "Excuse me, who are you? Stop interrupting my dad and get out of here!" We did not know. We don't. I'm not paid. You're not being paid for this, Sylvia. Fuck off.
This is not a paid thing.
Are you not Are you not employed by my family to serve with the hex under the hex scrolls? Know your place.
I am in fact a mercenary, and I work for whoever pays the highest. And Shimano Corporo is an excellent contractor. Run along. We'll talk later.
Oof. I guess we're gonna have to make this a contested roll because she's gonna roll to take somebody out as she basically
I'm going
rebuffs.
to say that cannot be take someone out because that is specifically a physical challenge.
No, take someone out is also just remove. The wording is remove, just like in general, like is in like just get rid of.
All right.
If you want, I could do pull rank instead, which she has, but I'd rather not. But
sure.
Yeah, okay.
I will happily roll take someone out with you.
Yeah, here we go. Oh no. I'm gonna roll her celebrity. And you can roll your soldier. We'll see if we... but yeah, she'll probably actually beat her, which is good. Yeah, just barely. Yep, just... Well, actually, wait, that's 2020, isn't it? We tied. Fuck!
21-21.
Oh, 21. Fuck, it's a tie! God damn it!
Alright,
I think Sylvia
rank.
wins this one because she does have intelligence.
24.
Why?
Garth got a 24 on polling rank.
Yeah, what does Garth do? Yeah,
On the side of hearing this great information.
yeah,
This is actually legitimate information.
yeah.
Because Sylvia thinks she does have something.
So here's how this plays up. Like Vadim, here's your cue, Brayden. By the way, Vadim slides in, right to this, right. He interjects, and he says, "Quinn, what are you doing? Why are you getting so competitive with your lessers? I'm very disappointed in you. I did not pay these wretched curs to entertain you so you could get attached to them. Quintessence." And...
General, by all means, call me anything you want, but you should know that there is a hazard fee for calling me a wretched cur.
Bryn walks up and puts a hand on his shoulder, like, please don't.
Yeah?
No.
Like, Quinn also tries to smooth it over, like, Dad, please, as she allows herself to be drawn away, right? So you get Garth, right?
Grid trying to convey
Yeah,
him.
right.
Security box will take at least 5
And-
feet to get here.
Yeah.
Let me do
And,
this.
and by the way, when she says Dad, she's speaking to both dads, right? Like, Dad, please. But yeah.
Pick that, they're right.
Yeah. As she allows herself to be drawn away, and Sylvia, you do secure Garth's interests, right? You know I would never be so careless as to get attached to the help. You raised me better than that. I just enjoy watching them squirm.
And that she does. Sylvia just like rolls her eyes like this is a frequent occurrence.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, Bryn, you should, like, Vadim just starts berating her and, like, really eroding her agency and just, like reading her to rights, right?
God. Bryn's gonna walk up and say, Quintessence, let me talk to your father, please.
There's no need for that. It's not what you're being paid for. But Vadim's eyes they glow red, like robots do when they go aggro, right? And his nostrils flare. Vadim says, "Quinn, it's fine. I will speak to this ruffian." And he brushes Quinn away as if Quinn is nothing, right? She's meaningless. It's just, "Hello, Bryn. This is unexpected."
Riesling, you really shouldn't treat your daughter like that.
He's offended that you didn't refer to him by his rank, General Riesling, and then you're Captain.
I am no longer the you're not my commanding officer. So.
Wow. Okay, now is like now the glow, right? and he like he tenses up like his muscles bunch, right? And at that point, like as Quinn like is brushed away, she like goes over here. Meliora swoops in, like she zooms right in. Whoop, Kramer's in, right? General Riesling, let us not make a scene at this lovely party. She's just a child, he's just a mercenary. Nothing to get so worked up over. She looks to you, Brent, and says, "It is good and right that you stand up for your comrades. Admirable, even when they are reckless and impetuous." She's looking directly at Vadim as she says that. "It is important to keep the reckless on a tight leash." And Vadim's just like obliterated.
I'm afraid I looked at her, but I haven't made your acquaintance. Red puts his hand out.
She reaches out with the hand of this uncomfortably sexy proxy self and will take your hand in hers and shake it warmly. But you can feel from this thing that this thing could literally just crush your
just
hand.
For like the utter strength.
Mm-hmm. This one could just crush you.
Just grips a little bit too tightly.
Mm-hmm. It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, Brynza Mare. I am Meliora Lambert, the benevolent shepherd.
Mare, thank you.
She continues to pronounce it incorrectly.
Prince of Mare.
I am but the benevolent shepherd of deliverance.
Is that right? Bryn sweats a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Inside.
Mm-hmm. Again, this thing is like 7'6". It's
Well,
like it's huge.
it's an honor that you would grace us with your presence, such as it is.
If only I could be here in person. Then I could peruse the lovely meals and beverages here. But unfortunately, I'm a very busy woman. I have many places to be and people to see.
So you have many obligations that you must fulfill. I understand.
Yeah, she nods. I knew that we would be of the same mind on this. You remind me of myself.
Is that right?
It is indeed. A big compliment, by the way, Captain Brinza Mare. Still pronouncing it incorrectly.
Please, I have no longer hold that rank, but I appreciate it.
Oh, you are always welcome to rejoin. I can easily dismiss your dishonorable discharge. It would be like nothing to me. And Vadim is getting increasingly upset in the back, and she's just doing this to own him, right?
Well, I appreciate the intentions there, but that won't be necessary. But I appreciate the thought.
Of course.
I've come to enjoy my life as it is right now.
Well, if you ever change your mind, you know how to reach me. Come, Rieslings. Let us talk. And she heads off, and they just can't not follow her. Like they're so owned. They're literal corn cobs.
I walk over to Quinn. We're leaving. We're leaving now. We're getting out of here.
Yeah,
as but it's impolite. We're leaving.
Yeah, as you say that, literally, Svava grabs Lionel, right, and pulls him over and rushes over to where Bryn and Quinn are and says, "Hey, let's go play some Jenga. I brought Jenga. I have Uno now. I have Uno now, Bryn."
Is it not in this building?
It's not in this building.
Please.
Yeah, she gestures to Isadora and the rest of you, and gestures for you all to follow her.
Before we leave, of course, off on the side, Garth is just dusting himself off, just kind of shaking his fist.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie Riesling, pretty damn bold for a man who has fought in years.
Yeah, Sylvia, do you actually share secret information with Garth?
I actually do. Sylvia, kind of catches him on the shoulder and gently and goes don't worry about him. I've got something that's going to be a lot more interesting. I wasn't kidding. And she passes him she goes I'll need your contacts later so I can send you the blueprints, but I understand that Smith Shimano Corporo has completed work on a full subjectivity sinks.
Oh yes, of course. It's one of our many amazing products.
Yeah, proprietary too, I noticed. I've been really enjoying it. Did you know there's a company that I believe used early blueprints of that to try and build competing technology and rush it on market before it could, and they still have plans to try and launch that?
Pardon me?
I'd look into Smart Brain. They've only got a couple of offices left, but and they're down to an LLC now. It shouldn't take too much to get them off the map, but I think you'll be pleasantly, or depending on your opinions on certain forms of research, unpleasantly surprised.
Very well. Thanks for the tip.
Oh, don't mention it. This one's personal.
Alright, but yeah. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
He just takes out a fucking wad of whatever the cash is.
ISK. Let's call it ISK, where it's Eve Online now.
Looks down at it and she's like, I meant it. It's personal. Just promise me whatever you do when you find him, nobody who's involved with this has a good night's sleep the rest of their lives.
Sounds very personal.
Oh, you have no idea. And with that, she wanders off, and she will send him information later on the neural jack, which she was making an educated guess about. Hey, if she's wrong, all she is an annoying mercenary who was wrong, and if she's right, Nothing says fun like watching capitalism eat itself.
I feel like it's the kind of thing where like they just hired someone from the company and like, wow, you're here now. We use this stuff like that. The Lyft dude that stole the Google stuff.
All right, so yeah, Slava and Lionel grab you all, get you all, like, wave you all together and drag you off to a completely different sector, to Sector 7, to a small, like, lovely little cabin in Sector 7. Hey, look, you're all here. I already moved you here. Check me out. Aren't I cool?
Bryn is visibly shaking.
Yeah, Quinn is also visibly, like, as soon as you're away from the people, she does, like, she just visibly starts shaking. Like, she breaks, like, she's barely keeping it together. And she starts, like, just apologizing to you, especially Sylvia. Like, she's just a mess.
Literally just, like, hugs her and goes, like, relax. I didn't mean it either.
Lionel's made home-cooked food because he's a baker. He made you home-cooked food.
Yeah, there's pizza.
Yeah.
So that was bad. That was extremely bad.
We're never doing this again.
I
don't care who invites us.
I had a very fun night myself.
Listen, listen, this is important. I was mildly respectful of that man. That was fine, but that was the lay that runs Deliverance. Right? That was like the high, as high as you can go.
Yeah, that's their benevolent shepherd.
So
That's
I embarrassed him in front of the big boss. I cannot emphasize how bad that is.
And not only did you own him, but she moved in on your crit and just like stomped him with you, right? She JoJo'd him with you.
I didn't even do. I wasn't. She took advantage of it.
Yep.
I didn't mean to go that far.
Bryn, relax.
And the thing
He's
is,
rich. By tomorrow, he'll have forgotten half.
No,
he won't.
No, he won't.
Yeah, no. Quinn and Bryn
He's
are
a
both
petty
like,
war-
no, yeah.
Listen, shut up. Listen, he's a petty war criminal. He won't forget it. He'll just get more mad about it the longer until he does something.
Yeah. Quinn says he's got like a book full of people. He a book of grudges, so to speak. He just writes down the name.
He looks at it every morning.
He has a
I
picture.
saw him once reviewing it in his office. It's very long.
Yeah, he's
I saw him stab his list of enemies just because.
He's gonna be the Nemesis comic from Park a Vagrant with Bryn's picture, right? He's gonna fall asleep next to it every night. Sorry.
He's gonna do war crimes.
It's gonna be awful. Yeah, it's bad. Quinn also agrees that was very capital B bad. But yeah,
doing some war crimes to blow off steam.
Quinn does like dejectedly, like she looks back down at the poster Meliora gave her that she folded up and said she will cherish, and she like dejectedly says she's the one who owns Kovanen. Oh no, she won't use Kovanen's full name. She's the one who owns Kova.
Well, she owns a lot of things. That's not really comforting at all. But we should probably get off this planet as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Somebody just kind of like looks at me. She's like, "So we've already officially not made friends with Deliverance, and it'll take a while before they start. You know, they're probably not going to scramble regular military against us yet."
No, this would be like kind of like your the put a bag in your head, take your black site kind of thing.
This is
probably use mercenaries.
Yeah, this is cloak and dagger stuff, and also
this is like Curse of Vendetta, not like scramble.
Yeah.
The flagship.
Quinn agrees.
We're
like
already
this
on high alert over like murder and keeping your stepfather from earning wages.
Quinn.
Maybe we should I don't know, take advantage of any of the many people in the system who hate Deliverance and just pledge ourselves to one of them instead of accepting any more contracts for the time being. Probably the safest place for any of us to be right now, honestly.
Well, the problem with that is I look at Quinn. We kind of on a path that
Quinn like said, sometimes talking through Deliverance is the only way I can keep talking to her.
Fine. Well, we get her out and then we run.
I don't want to be involved in politics.
Look, it's fine. I can just no. I want her out. That's what she told you at the thing, right? It's not even about her love. She wants Kova out, right?
So let's get her out. How do we do that? Any plans?
S told me she had a plan using music of some sort to talk to the Arathing Ashai, get them on their side. Kovanen's largely staying with Deliverance because her people are bound to them. And if her people can get out, then she would be willing to get out too.
Yeah, it's basically a hostage situation.
Mm-hmm.
Lionel clears his throat. Well, perhaps they might not be the most reliable allies, but bolstering Common Front at the moment might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, Svava leans back and like folds her arms and says, "You know how I feel about this. Lesser of two evils is still pick an evil, but our options are pretty limited.
As long as we're not doing war crimes. You know my stance on war crimes.
Yeah, she does. She just drops the name of her faction since you're in security. We only have so much. We need more allies. We need to find the people in these factions who are willing to fight against fascism and get them together into a coalition. I got the Garat. I'm working on getting an image. I'm doing what I can, but we still don't have the forces. Any allies that you can bring in to this cause, that'll help me immensely."
Well, it's fine, we can do that, but also eventually Reason's gonna try to calm this army.
Yeah, that's the thing. Quinn says it's not Deliverance that's going to come after Britain. My dad's going to personally come after Britain.
And when I say me, I mean I look at everyone else. I mean all of us because you're associated with me.
Yeah.
Like, just by virtue of being in the same organization.
So yes.
Quinn, like I appreciate that you want to share the thing that you've been working on so intently, but like the more people that know about it, the more easy it's gonna just kind of fall into someone who you don't want to have it.
She smirks and says they can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
They can print it out, but they can't use it. You don't understand what Ryland did to it. She tied it to my consent. If they even try to use it, it will boil their fucking brains.
Well, I hope that's true.
Terrifying.
But that is not a bad strategy. Failing to have a larger army, being able to operate in secrecy is always a good backup.
All right, well...
Still, though, it would help to have a better army because we have ourselves and, if I were able to get the crew of the Adolith along, about double our forces, which is not many. Still.
74 is shy if we can get all of them. 73.
I mean, Riesling has killed that many before breakfast. Like, not to be a downer, but...
Have you heard the stories of what they've done? Now, granted, space isn't the jungles. For every one, they've killed thousands.
Not to mention, and Sylvia could kind of speak up now. Don't you all have someone who owes you a favor or something? She like points directly at Lyra. We just made friends with the clans. I don't think they're gonna say no to a fight like this. Not if we put it the right way.
I also have a terrible, terrible idea that I'm not going to mention right now. Think about it. It's just the worst idea.
I love bad
I'm not
ideas.
really sure how many clan warriors you could get in one place. We are very far from homelands, but from what I have seen, a single clan pilot is probably worth about 5 of one of Deliverance's pilots. So I guess it's the equivalent of a few thousand.
Svava nods in agreement. Like, she's liking how this is panning out, right? She's just nodding and agreeing.
We could also launch a coordinated assault that's not necessarily coordinated. If the Common Front and Deliverance decide to go hammer and tongs, if we launch our strike alongside them while the bulk of their forces are tied up with pacifying the front, it won't matter if the front decides to fight on our side or not. We could maybe pull off surgical strike we'd need to crush their leadership.
Maybe. Like, Quinn is thinking about this. Like, I know that Deliverance wants to consume the Common Front first and then move on to Boundless. In the Matchmaker, Cove has told me a couple things about some weird stuff going on Blair, that planet we were on before, but she doesn't know a lot about what's going on there. And she's, nosing around will make people know she's nosing around. And it puts her in danger. But I think whatever's going down there sounds like it's feeling to me. I'm like, my vibes. I don't have anything confirmed. It's just my vibes, right? That's an ignition point there.
Actually, you are correct. Hold on a sec. And Isadora just flips back through tons of notes and eventually reaches the information she found while researching Blair after their first mission.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything about the situation, but there were a lot of talks about what happened on our mission, and things about weaponry. I wasn't quite able to decrypt this part of the conversation, but that was mentioned. And
That fits pretty well with what I saw, too. I was groundside, and I noticed that Blair's a powder keg, and that was obvious from a mile out, but it looks an awful lot like the Front are planning to annex it.
Yeah.
And they'll have to do that through the corporate state that's already controlling it.
Slava says, what I would like for you to do, I'll negotiate this through Deliverance just like I did with the Shy mission. You go down there and make sure that powder keg goes off the way we want it to. I'll do the unilateral strike on the outside with the coalition we build in the interim. Sound good?
It'd be worse.
It's our best plan so far.
I mean, yeah, we're just talking about guerrilla warfare against the most powerful military in the galaxy. That's cool. That's fine.
It sounds very fun, actually.
Bryn takes a drink.
Lionel's also in the back taking a drink.
Just wanna have a mercenary group and just do mercenary.
Bryn, this is a mercenary mission.
Well,
Quinn, reaches...
I'll give him the beams.
Yeah. Quinn reaches across, the table and, touches your arm and says, when this is over, we can just go back to chilling out, grilling, drinking, wasting away in space. I'll do everything I can to deliver that.
I mean, you can probably have a little bit more ambitions than that, Quinn. It's fine.
But look, fully automated luxury gay space communism, Dad. That's what I'm gunning for.
What can I say? I'll take it. Look, I don't know what half of those words mean beyond gay and communism. Okay, and space. I know all of those words mean, but none of them make sense together.
Oh, I can explain luxury.
Yeah, Quinn says I can also explain luxury.
No, I know what a luxury is. I just... Look.
Just it's not important. We're getting caught up in details here.
Yeah.
We are a little bit.
A alert goes off and Quinn jerks up. I have a date I have to go to. And so I was like,
you can just skip that. It's fine.
This was Kova. Dad, shut up.
Oh, that. Okay.
Oh, an actually good day.
I thought she meant the guy. Okay, good.
That would not be a date. That would be a hostage situation.
Well, the way she said it sounded like she was sighing as she said it. So I thought.
Dad, shut up.
She has the Kova look. She always gets the Kova look.
Stop making fun of me. I'll see you on the Adalith. And she rushes off.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
She throws something at you.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
That's not true. I wouldn't back down.
Quinn is not here, and you can now talk about sex because the 16-year-old is no longer in the room.
We're not doing that.
All right. Well, I certainly didn't hear any of that discussion that happens just now.
What the, I have something else.
Quinn did eat some of the pizza, by the way, Lionel, and complimented you on it. Swava also ate some of the pizza.
Those other mercenaries were also at that party. If you didn't notice.
Oh yes, the main character's very, very good reputation.
Yeah, extremely good.
As you say that, guess what? Ark enters the room as you say that, but I'm not going to pull his plug in.
Damn it.
Just him. Just him. Right? It's just him. He says, hey, Bren.
I just hand him a drink.
He takes the drink and he smiles at you. And it's an actual friendly smile. These past couple weeks since we last fought, I've talked to a lot of your old comrades.
Is that right?
And they've given, and your daughter, he tilts his head, like after where Quinn ran off to.
Complicated.
I think he grimaces a little bit. Oh, yes. Is that right?
They've led me to believe you are a certain kind of man. I hope that is true. And he's still, by the way, dressed as the Dread Pirate Roberts. Jeff?
I mean, I suppose my comments might say that, but I never met her. So I don't know what she would know, I guess.
What I would like to see from you, I have locked down this contract. No other bounty hunters will be taking this contract. You are mine. You are my prey. And if they do, they will have to trifle with me, which means they will not. You have 2 weeks. Go to her, sort this out yourself. On the way, I will have to attack you, and if I do, I will be taking you there myself, so it will resolve the same way. If you are the man I think you are, then you shall do this.
Well, then I guess I'll be seeing you on the field of battle, won't I?
You will, but it will be different this time. It's been an honor, actually, to know who you truly are.
Sylvia just like looks between the two of them and goes like, "Is he hitting on you?"
No. This is more dads, right? There's two mutual dads, right? Two dads dadding.
A family can be two dads.
just two dads dadding heterosexually. Nothing gay happening here, folks.
Well, I mean, you know what we can do. So, I guess you better be ready.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Ark isn't even looking at Swava. Like, he's pretending she's not even in the room. Because he can't, right? He can't interact with her. Otherwise, he gets exiled immediately. So she did bring some Nimish spirits. So he does pour himself a glass of Nimish spirits. He's not even, he can't ask her where she got them, right?
Can't even acknowledge where they came from.
Yep, can't acknowledge where they came from, but he clearly knows what they are, and he takes a sip and he says, "You should try this stuff. We do some wild shit, Bryn."
I've had it. It doesn't agree with my stomach. But it's very good.
He and so are you. I look forward to seeing you on the field of battle. And he heads out. Well, if you want to finish, yeah, he'll let you get the parting word.
I let him leave.
Yeah, he walks out. That's it. More role play, and then we're just gonna gloss over the Halloween thing, Faf, and we'll record it later.
Man, there's so much going on.
I for one am glad you were making friends, Wolfsman.
He is your friend.
Yeah, great.
Hey, we could use them in the coalition of the whatever we're building.
I think, sure, but we should have to fight them.
I'm very excited to shoot the ball.
Right. Perfect chance to assess our capabilities. If we can beat them and hold them off, then well, they've messed us up before. Maybe that means we can take on people we couldn't before.
Gotta look out.
Go ahead.
Like, that's gonna be in space. They're gonna attack us en route.
Yep. Svava remarks that beating people in combat is how you recruit people on your side in the video game my character is from.
I mean, that's been our experience so far, just in general.
Yeah, that's the thing about dual culture is people really like it when you beat them up. I don't get it.
What's not the like?
I mean, I haven't lost yet. Apparently.
It's like winning, but not anything like that. It's very complicated.
It's winning adjacent.
Someone wins.
Hey, y'all gonna eat this pizza? You gotta try this. Shit is good.
Anyway, I think we should maybe print 2 copies of our mechs for that trip. Yeah, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Some spare parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how fast the printer on the endless can print 4 new mechs.
It'll be fine. I'm sorting in the mech we got from the Ashai.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, but you look so cute in the small one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fit the big laser on the small mech.
You're just thinking too small. We just gotta Yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
It needs 2 mounts. I only had 1 mount.
Okay. Svava pours Lionel some of those Nimish spirits and hands it to him with like a wink.
All right, well, that's another conversation I didn't hear. Boy, I've been napping for a while.
Gosh, it sure is nice to be not be in this room with us. She grins.
Oh, would you like to know about all my interpersonal problems, Slava?
Yeah,
So like to hear my backstory?
Svava says, "Bryn, I am working on." She gestures to where Quinn ran off to. So many interpersonal problems right now. You're a big boy. Can you handle your own?
No, I can't. That's not the problem.
Write me an email. I'll see what I can do, Bryn. I gotta get my daughter out of that fucking Nazi faction. All right.
I have a daughter that hates me. She's probably like my age. She's probably gonna fire beams at me.
Oh, Jeff, do you want to stand up your own daughter for me? Let's talk about it after game. Yeah. What more do you do in the downtime?
Since, legally I really shouldn't be taking any part in this, how about we just take a moment to be as far away from that party as possible? And he motions over to just a big Jenga tower.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so here's this game called Dread.
Svava pulls out a bottom brick immediately, like fearlessly. YOLO, it does not fall over.
So only the side ones, not the middle ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we got some prepping to do once we leave this terrible planet.
I'm sure it'll be fine. There's nothing bad that's possibly gonna happen at this point. And Sylvia confidently reaches over to the Jenga tower, pulls out a middle brick, and the whole thing collapses. Sylvia just like looks at it and goes,
Damn.
Yeah, that's not auspicious
yeah, I
at
think
all.
I might be a little bit drunk.
Svava pulls out a deck of...
Filled in a terrible passion before the game even begins.
Yep. Svava pulls out a Uno deck. I got the good stuff, though. She starts shuffling it and deals...
That's illegal. That game was banned.
Svava looks at you with a glint in her eyes as you think I give a fuck about the rules, Bryn, and deals you in.
No. Bryn gets utterly owned. He gets the draw 25.
Yeah, he gets to draw 25, or, admit you have feelings for your daughter and draw 25. He just pulls up 25 cards. Fuck you.
I've never met her. I don't know her at all.
Confront your tragic backstory or draw 25, fucking piece of shit rat. Dirty, filthy, good for nothing.
There's not so much tragic as pathetic.
Mm-hmm. Svava does, like, quietly, like, peek, like, not allude, like, ask Lionel how his guests are doing, like, she was gonna see if, like, she could try and get him a bigger place, you know, since he's got so many people staying with him.
Mm-hmm. Does she mean all of them a bigger place or just the guests?
I mean, all of them, unfortunately. She has no other place to put them. Are they causing you too much trouble? Are you getting along?
Oh yes, they're quite pleasant. The kid, of course, is a bit of a handful, but, you know, I have ways to distract children.
Yeah, Svava looks over at the two of you and says, that dude who died is not dead.
What dude?
Okay, I'll tell you later. Do you want to tell him, Lionel?
Oh, there's a Deliverance General who was going to wind up dead anyway, so we faked his death, and now he's living with me, with his wife and his child.
And we're gonna use him to help get the Ashaya to Deliverance.
Well, that's cool. Good luck.
She nods. And he's spying for us. He's telling us all sorts of shit about their mechs, their weaponry. I'll send you everything he gives us. So yeah. Anyway, she goes back to like owning everybody in Uno. She's like, why is her entire deck draw force? This is bullshit.
Man, like a month ago, I wasn't part of a resistance cell, and now I am. And...
Funny how these things work. Draw 4, by the way, bitch.
Sylvia just kind of like looks at Bren and goes like, "Yeah, you know,
You know what? This
is not where I saw this going either. But here we both are,
At
and
this point, I guess there's not much I can do about it.
Do you remember how we were joking about like the deck of cards that it's like the tarot deck that's like has Exodia and shit in it? It's like she like starts pulling out like Exodia and like Pokemon cards and shit from this Uno deck and playing them as if they're legitimate cards that could be played in Uno.
Uno's a very strange game.
Yep.
Royal Straight Flush versus Right Hand of the Forbidden One. Checkmate?
It's very good. Alright, how do we want to close this out? And then I'll gloss over the conversation that Quinn has with Kova.
Zadora just draws a get out of jail free card.
Yeah. Isadora gets a ping, like, you want to take this matchmaker up from first swing from high roll, but she doesn't have to take her up on that.
She probably will later, but she doesn't have that on her right now.
Svava, like, gets, like, roaringly drunk with Lionel and, like, teaches him some Nimish songs, which are just basically Viking battle, like, Viking battle songs. It's the, we come from the land of the ice. It's that fucking song. Like, just that energy in all of them. So, yeah. So I guess, so Quinn, rushes back to the Adelith. She tears off this horrible fucking costume that she didn't even want to be wearing in the first place. She changes into her actual costume, and she goes to have this date with Kova. She settles into her room on the Adelith. She boots up the matchmaker. She slides in excitedly. We will post this up as a pilot log. It actually already exists as a pilot log that I roleplayed with myself because I wasn't sure if Fefner would be down for being really, really gay with me, but she was, which is cool. Thank you, Fefner. But the gist of it is that they kind of go back and forth between arguing and getting along really, really well, and then arguing again, as you do, and ultimately Quinn just, like, gives up and just tells her point blank that she is in love with her. Like, the actual words, "I'm in love with you." Which Kobana just, like, glitches out, just, like, shuts down and just exits the call, and that went really well. And that's what we'll end the session.
Next time, we'll finally have a combat section again, and Jenner is free from the stress of planning sessions for a little bit.
Finally, I'm free from Eternal Lancer RPG. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for
At
role-playing.
last, after 10,000 years.
Thank you for role-playing with me and being gay with me, all of you. This is great. I'm enjoying this a lot. So we'll end it here. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
So long.